Hello. Well, as you can see, we're taking a new format to what used to be known as the President's Annual Message. The President of the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries, Jane Curtis, is with me to answer questions that I'll put to her on your behalf, to update us on where the profession is today and where she sees it going in the future. Let's start with this very update then, Jane. Traditionally, it was done from a stage, big speech at a big occasion. You've decided to do this in a television studio. Tell me why.
Well, I was very keen to try something different. Formal set speeches can only reach a small audience. And we know that over 40% of our members are based overseas now and can't get to London to hear speech. So we thought that by doing something to camera, it would be a lot more interesting and engaging for them. So this is part of something that I've been introducing during my presidential year, just trying a few different things, and we'd really value some feedback from the members as to whether or not they think it's working and we should continue in this direction.
So what are your key priorities for your presidency?
Well, absolutely implementing the new strategy. That is the #1 priority, and I will consider it as a failure if we don't do that, or have made very, very good progress. And the strategy was launched at the start of my term of office and was developed under the previous president, Ronnie Bowie. And I spent a lot of time helping him develop that strategy. We consulted very widely with members and other stakeholders. So, you know, now is the time for getting on and implementing it.
What does the strategy focus on? What are its priorities?
Well, we've got 5 key strategic areas. First is education, which I think everyone would expect us to have there. We've got a gold standard qualification already. We want to keep it there. There's regulation and licensing. We need to do quite a lot of that. It doesn't necessarily get the support of our members, but it's important to maintain public confidence in the work we do. Member support. That's a given. Members have got needs wherever they live and work, and all over the world as well. So we need to ensure that we up our game considerably there. Public affairs and promotion. We want to be seen to be influential and speaking out. So there's a lot for us to do there. And then to enable us to have something to speak out about, we need to spend quite a lot of time and effort on research and thought leadership. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail now, because for those who are interested, I really do hope they will take the time to read the strategy, which they will find on the website.
Yeah, we'll put the link right under this video picture,
yes,
so people can read it there.
Yes, please do.
You must be confident, having invested that time before you became president and now in your presidential year then, that this is the right policy, this is the right strategy for the profession right now.
Yes, I really do believe that, because we went to a lot of effort to consult with members and other stakeholders. So you know, they've essentially shaped the strategy in the way in which it is. So I'm absolutely confident that it's going to deliver what they want, that it's going to make us influential and competitive, because after all, we're a small profession on a large global stage.
And it wasn't as if you dreamed the strategy up out of the blue. You consulted quite widely on it, didn't you?
Yes, we certainly did with all our members. I ran a number of focus groups, both in the UK and overseas. So we took soundings from all over the place. So, and with the employers of actuaries, not just our members, but everybody who might have an interest in the work of an actuary. Influential
and competitive, 2 words which I think bubble to the surface through the document. Would you agree with that? And is that important?
It certainly is. Influential. I mean, I spend a lot of time talking with the members, all around the country, and actually it's one of the most enjoyable things about being president is getting out and talking to people. And one of the biggest criticisms they level at the presidential team is that we're not speaking out enough on matters of public interest and raising the profile generally of the profession. But we're not going to dictate policy. We're going to use the technical knowledge that we've got and experience to inform and influence the public debate, rather than sort of take the decisions ourselves.
So in that sense, the members were telling you what? Get on the television, get on the radio more, get articles written
Absolutely.
about the profession
Yes.
in the newspapers?
Yeah, oh yes, yes, and they were doing that, and in some respects telling us to get on our soapbox and you know and say what was wrong. And so there are a number of tricky issues around at the moment on which they feel we should be speaking out more. But we're having, you know, a fair bit of success in that area in terms of influencing behind the scenes, responding positively to consultations. There's a lot of government consultation out at the moment, and we're providing a lot of data and evidence for those. And we're having some success because you know, government departments are coming back to us and asking us for more information. They're quoting our work. And
it's been a busy news year, hasn't it?
It has indeed, yeah.
How do you think the profession is getting on?
There's a tremendous excitement and buzz about the place now, much more so over the last 12 months than I've ever known before, and I've been involved in professional affairs for a long time now. We've made a lot of progress in member support and the public affairs and research initiatives, and there's just generally a lot more excitement, and I've had a lot of feedback from members who tell me that there's a real difference now and they can feel it themselves, and so for me that's the start of some, you know, success. So,
and in the European and worldwide sphere, what's happening there?
Well, certainly our links with our European Association, the Group Constitutive, are very, very important in terms of influencing Brussels, so we're playing our part there, and with Solvency II being one of the big issues that the profession faces now and over the next few years, that's particularly important. We're also looking to influence our international colleagues through the International Actuarial Association as well. So there's been a series of meetings recently overseas to take some of the initiatives forward, and we're playing a leading part in that and want to continue to be at the heart of those organisations.
So we've heard a bit about the strategy, and you've got a busy in-tray on your desk of matters you've got to deal with. What are the greatest area of change though? What are your priorities, if you like, in the shorter term?
In the shorter term, I think what I'll be spending a particular focus on is in the areas of education and regulation, and I think that's where our members might see the greatest change, certainly over the next 12 months.
Well, we better talk about that. What's happening on the education front?
Well, for those who know me really well, know that that's my passion, and I've been involved in education on behalf of the profession for sort of over 25 years, so I've been really passionate about the development and training and just general financial literacy for the public as well. So that's a sort of an underlying theme that I want to try and see some improvement on during my term of office, and what can we as a profession do to help that. But as part of the strategy, we launched some preliminary ideas around what the level of qualification might look like going forward. It's true there are some concerns, but we think to ensure that the qualification remains fit for purpose on a global stage, we think we've got to make one or two stages. And going back to that competitiveness thing as well, with other professions as well. So
some members must be saying you're going to make it easier.
Well, exactly. I know. I was going to say that we are absolutely not dumbing down the qualification. We have a gold standard qualification that many members, you know, from all around the world aspire to have and want to take our qualification. We want to keep it that way. But, you know, maybe there's some stepping stones along the way that people can join the profession and only aspire to those levels and then feel proud that they've achieved those levels, and it gives them a qualification that they can use in the workplace that's right for them, even if they don't take it all the way through to the end.
But are you doing this because it's right for the profession, or because you're facing increased competition from other qualifying bodies? Well,
I think we're doing it, I think both actually. I don't think that they're exclusive. I think we're doing it because it's right for the profession now to ensure that we're sustainable in the future, but also, you know, recognising the competition. And, you know, as part of the strategy, we gather an enormous amount of data, particularly looking at the external environment on, you know, the stresses and strains that had on the profession. So.
Two words I know you love: licensing and regulation.
Yeah, so when I'd sort of, a couple of years ago, having, as I said, done education for about 25 years, the then Chief Executive said to me, you know, I'd really like you to go and have a look at regulation, Jane. We need someone who's pragmatic and sensible and help out in that area. There is a huge amount of activity in that area, and I think over the next 12 months we've certainly upped the pace, and and a key person who's driving us forward in that area is Sir Philip Moore. He's been excellent in his leadership. So we are just about to go to council with a whole strategy on regulation, which is confirming self-regulation, and hopefully that'll be approved by council and we can launch and implement that over the next few months. We've recently launched conflicts of interest consultation. The regulators that have taken an interest in that will hopefully be pleased with where we've landed on that. We're about to launch and consult on outcomes-based CPD, so continuing professional development. So there is a huge volume of work there and much momentum behind it.
So you're saying be prepared for change. This will have an impact, won't it?
Yes, and I know some of our members will find that perhaps uncomfortable, so I am left in absolutely no doubt whatsoever that we will need to win the hearts and minds of our members on some of this. But hopefully they would have seen some of the paperwork that we released in relation to the conflicts of interest consultation, that we're communicating them with them in such a way that it will take them on the same journey. They will understand why it's important, why we need it to maintain public confidence, and hopefully they will give it their full support.
Now, you're good at looking into the future, so let's wind forward to June next year. What would you like to have achieved by then?
Well, when I go out to talk to members, I want them to turn around to me, all of them, wherever they live and work in the world, and say, I am really proud to be members of this profession. So in other words, I don't want them just to be ticking that box on their renewal form, paying their subscription and saying, well, I've got to pay this, to, you know, it gives me my passport to do my job. I want them to be truly proud to be members of this profession. And in terms of the specific objectives that we spoke about earlier, you know, education, we know what the qualification is going to look like. It truly is the gold standard. You know, licensing and regulation, yes, we've achieved all our objectives in that area, but it's proportionate and members understand why we've got the regulation that we've got, and that the, you know, and public have got absolutely every confidence in the work we do. We look at public affairs and promotion, you know, we have had lots of success in that area, you know, but we are seen as really influential. We've got all those media contacts, and we've had all that, you know, press and media coverage that we really aspire to. Member support, they're getting everything that they need, you know, when they touch, whatever area of the profession and the executive they touch, you know, it gives them what they want. And that we've got all the research initiatives underway, and they're starting to deliver some really good thought leadership work. It's
a formidable list. It's a challenge you're setting yourself, Jane. Can you do it?
Well, I think we absolutely can. Well, we have to, and I've been pretty uncompromising with the executive on that, as they know. But what we have done is we've restructured the executive. We've got some great new talent in there now, and they've got different skills from the volunteer actuarial workforce. You know, we've got lawyers, accountants, you know, civil servants. You know, they are skilled in what they do, and I want the volunteer members that are involved in all activity to realise that and to use all that diverse talent, you know, to achieve what we were setting out to do.
So if there's one message you'd like anyone watching this webcast to take away from the session before they click away and navigate to something else, what would it be?
Well, I think for us to be successful, it's not about me or the rest of the presidential team, it's not about council or management board, and it's about all of us working together with the executive. And I think it's only by working together collaboratively with other partners as well that we can really be successful and make a difference.
Jane, thank you very much indeed. It's an impressive list of things that you've set yourself. We wish you very well in it, and we hope it's proved useful. But for now, from your President Jane Curtis and from me, goodbye.
Bye.